Did you know that there's a group of scouts that are actually working on national policy and program for Scouting America? Hey, ScouterStan, let's talk a little bit about this National Youth Council. We had this question come up on our channel, and it actually right here, this was a request. They wanted more information about this, and it's only been around a short time. Scouting is more than 100 years old, and something like this is long needed. And now that we have technology on our side, we can do these Zoom meetings nationally with youth all over, and really get feedback. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about, is this National Youth Council. Now, the purpose for this National Youth Council should be straightforward. This is a youth program, and in scouting, a lot of times adults can feel like they're detached. It's important to get the feedback from the youth that are actually in the program, and that's critical because it's a youth program. It should be critiqued and evaluated on a regular basis by the youth. That's the important thing that the committee that works on this youth council, they go through program and policies and get feedback directly to national. And this really helps a great deal in forming policies, informing program. This is a critical thing, and we're so into feedback and giving that information back to leaders. We need to be able to do that from the youth perspective. Now, every year there's a time period, and we'll get more into the real details of that, but there's a time period where youth can actually apply to be a part of the youth council. This is a great way, but they need to have some skills. We're going to get into those requirements, but one of the big one is understanding some of the leadership skills. Not only with the troop, if you're in a troop environment or a crew environment, even a ship, that's very important. Those things have to be kind of taught as far as leadership. The best I can think of is NYLT. Now, National Youth Leadership Training is available in your council, so you need to look at the calendar for your council. And it is a fantastic way for youth to get very advanced training, and that helps a lot with selection process for the youth council. So if you want more information about NYLT, which is the National Youth Leadership Training, check out that video. That will give you some information about that training. Now, there is a little bit of structure and how this all works as far as the Youth Leadership Council. Looking at the roster of last year's youth that were involved, there's about 38, maybe even 40 youth that are chosen. Being in Florida, we had one, and even though Texas, you guys had, so no bad feelings there. But that's the thing. You have to know about it and apply. And this is really for the youth. Now, us adult leaders need to think about that when we're suggesting that path to a youth, that they may want to take their leadership. They've been with senior patrol leader and all that stuff. They may take that leadership a step further and maybe even go national. So that is a big thing. And as adult leaders, we need to promote that. We need to get our youth out there to really move up and give their 2 cents about what's going on in scouting and try to make it even better. So that's an important thing. Now, there is an age requirement, and the more I look into it, it seems that this age requirement is between 14 and 17, meaning that they have to be 14 or older in order to even apply. And during the entire time that they are on the youth leadership committee, they have to be under 17. So that's the requirement. They have to stay in that age group. Now, obviously, first class rank or higher. They really look for scouts that have had a rounded experience. They've been to National Youth Leadership Training. They've been on high adventure. They have the experiences of being in troop management or crew, that they actually have managed the youth. And that is critical to being on this committee. Now, when youth are thinking of going out and really auditioning, think of it that way, for this, or interviewing for it, it is done completely online. Most of their activities are online. They might spend up to about 8 hours per month doing things or working on things. They might be given things to a project to actually lead and really put something together for the group. These are things that the youth work out and try to get all of that set up. And it is so fascinating to see them step up as leaders. It is fantastic. Now, there is responsibilities, and this impacts all of scouting because it is the Youth Leadership Council. The scouting has got their ears on, and they are listening to what the youth have to say. There might be a policy issue that they want them to work on and get feedback back to national. There may be a program that they're trying to put out, like a merit badge or something, that needs youth input on tailoring it to what youth want. And they want to hear all of this. So there's a great deal of active listening that goes on with this. And it's structured in a way so that, like I said earlier, it's like a Zoom meeting so that everybody's input is there. And it's kept, it is just with the committee and national. So it's a very exclusive thing. But if there's an event nearby, they might go to it and try it out. You know, if it's a NOAC or a Jambo or something like that, these are things that they can go to, and it's a wonderful thing to have their input when they get back to the whole group. So they are literally national scouts that actually go and do these things and give that input, that feedback that we desire so much back to national. And they're the wonderful group, okay? So they might go to OA things, and being that it's Order of the Arrow, they need to be a member of the Order of the Arrow. So the more that the scout is involved from our standpoint as adult leaders, the more that scout has had experiences. They've not only done their ordeal, but they've also gone brotherhood, and they've done things at different events for the OA. And the same thing's true with national high adventure, that they've actually gone to the high adventure bases all over the United States. Not all of them, just one. That might be a great experience. To have those experiences of scouting, and of course camping and being on the hike and doing those things that scouts do, different service projects, different kinds of things that they've been exposed to in leadership, youth leadership. These are great candidates to mentor and help towards becoming part of the youth committee. Now they also can work with the national staff, and there might be something that they're working on. These youth that are part of this committee, they need to be in there and actually learning with them the experience, so that they can make that experience even better for a better scouting. That's amazing to me, that we can get that input, that feedback that we desire so much. We need it. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you're invited to the campfire chat. Now, this is our live meeting we have each month on the first Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a fantastic way to get involved with live chat, and we have special guests. We have all kinds of neat things that go on. So definitely check that out. I also want to thank all of the Patreon members of this channel. In addition to that, I also want to thank all of the channel members right here on this channel. They have a fantastic group of people on this channel. They get a lot of perks. They get a lot of little icons and all kinds of neat stuff. But definitely check that out. If you're interested in becoming a member, definitely hit the little join button. It'll tell you more information. That's a great way to make this channel even better. Make it a part of what you do. And I'm so proud of you. We're just gonna jump right back in. There are benefits for participating in the National Youth Committee. And one of the biggest ones is actually getting that exposure to a national level of leadership. This is incredibly important for youth to have that opportunity to really be a big part of what scouting is desiring most, which is feedback. Now, as they interact, the youth leaders are going to develop a relationship with groups. They might have a small team that's working on a special project. That's something that can occur within that realm, and then they learn from one another. It's a great way to just build that leadership skill. This is also a real chance for the youth to actually say what's going to go on in Scouting America. That's the wonderful thing. This feedback is so needed for the national level. It would be so easy to be so detached. Not to have this it would be so bad. So they need the youth there, and they can actually make a big, wonderful difference and make our program and our policies even better. This will also be a big opportunity for public speaking and real engagement between the youth and adult leadership. This is huge because they could be asked to give a presentation. They work together with national, and that's the neat thing, and giving all that feedback so that they can actually tone that process, whether it be policy or different programs or different things, different procedures. They want the youth to have input on that, and that way it makes it easier to implement it. Not being so detached, which adults tend to be. They tend to look at things differently than the youth, and we need that youth perspective, and that's what they give. Now, by this time, you're probably thinking, how do I get my scout involved? There is a process that they need to go through. You, as an adult leader, need to think about which youth should has been working on leadership skills and is actually exposed to a lot of things that have happened in scouting, that they may be a good candidate. And that's the first thing that as adults we need to do. Now, granted, if all of the requirements are there and fulfilled and ready to go, you're ready to do the application. That is done by the youth, not by the adult. It's done by the youth, and they do it online. I will definitely put a link down below in the description that has the link. The link is not open as this is being recorded, so it varies from year to year. Typically, it's just before the summer really gets started, but that could change. So this is a new program, so you need to be ready when it does come up. So if you know of a youth, as an adult leader, you know of a youth that would benefit for it, try to find out when the applications are being taken. It's a very short window, but once they've applied, you can have that link to give to them, and they do it. They have to do it on their own. So that's a part of that process of qualifying for this position. Now, in scouting, we talk a lot about strong leadership, being an effective communicator. These are skills that we teach. There's a lot more skills like that. And this is something we teach to all of the youth. And in so, we also teach it to the adults. They learn it too. And that's the wonderful thing about scouting, is that these skills are out there. In fact, there is a video about scout skills that you learn. Those are great to look at, and definitely get some information about all of the things that make up a great leader, and all of those scout skills that we take for granted, that we use all of the things in scouting to really develop. So it's a good video. Definitely check it out. Why does this matter to Scouting America? I think that it's high time that we listen to what the youth have to say about policy, about procedures, about merit badges and rank advancement, and we need to hear their feedback. They've lived this experiences as youth, and we've taught them to be great leaders. So National needs this input. It is very important, and it's a serious thing to think about as far as the connection with the youth in the youth program. That's the big thing, that they really need this. This information that comes from the youth to National keeps scouting relevant. It helps us face challenges that youth are facing. So this is an incredibly important group, and their whole term is usually about 8 months. So that's about the time that they're actually working on stuff directly with the team at National. In scouting, we support youth leadership, and this is a big one. National also supports youth leadership. It's critical that they are part of the decisions that affect them. So that's the big deal about the Youth Leaders Council. And as scout leaders, we need to make sure that scouts that we think are qualified, that would do a great job, that we know would do a good job, we need to get them in there. We need to get them on that committee. And definitely look through your roster, the people that you've mentored. These are the people that we need to get towards this youth committee with National. Scouting is youth-led. That is true. And the National Youth Council helps keep it that way. We need to help National stay relevant by having this youth committee. So important for us as adult leaders to help get good candidates into that committee. Now, there's a lot of different leadership things in scouting, whether it be the adults learning all the stuff online, making sure that they're up to date on all of the records that are needed, and the youth going to these different kinds of activities, different experiences, different kinds of training. So we do a lot for our scouts, and there's a lot going on with every unit. And one of the things that happens a lot is transitions. So if you get a moment, check out the transitions video on how things change, and I'll see you on the trail.